Are screens taking over your child's life and you're worried about their online habits? Don't worry, we have got you covered. But before that, आप सभी को सुष्मिता का प्यार भरा नमस्ते and welcome back to Thrive with Sushmita. Today we will be diving into a very important and critical topic, which is how to reduce the impact of online content on kids and our children. How can we do that? This is one question that we all come across. And digital devices being a very, very important part of their lives these days, how to set healthy boundaries has become even more important. Right? So let's see what are those practical tips that you can use and help your child. See, before we discuss these tips, it is even more important that you need to understand that we are living in an age or the technological age where these devices will play an important role in all our lives. But how to set healthy boundaries, how to, tell them the limitations and the bright and right side and not so bright side of the technology and online content. So unless and until you don't discuss this with them, things will not work out. And these practical tips, you might feel that, ma'am, you said it and it is not that easy to be, followed or done. But see, you have to take that step. You just can't tell your child, okay, you're done, switch off your phone, give your phone, do this, do that. No, if you do all these things, let me tell you, the problem will become deeper and you will be left with no solution. So you need to be patient. The most important thing is you need to be patient. You need to make them understand and constantly talk and speak about it to them instead of complaining about it to everybody you meet that, my child does this and my child does that. No, stop doing that. Let's see what are those practical tips. The first one is the most common and all of you know it, but sometimes you think that how do you need to do it, which is limiting screen time. So you really need to understand that you need to give them that time, which is important, and we cannot stop them completely. Of course, there will be measures and ways that you can keep them busy so that they don't have that enough time that they can devote to online content so much. So if you are limiting screen time for them, make it for weekdays if it is an hour or so, and for weekends it can be 1.5 hours. So limiting screen time according to their routine is very important. It also depends at what age your child is. If your child is very young, it's just toddler or maybe just growing up, आप तभी से अगर you are careful about what they show. I'll tell you, sometimes it happens that I meet mothers of children who are maybe 6 months or a year old or maybe 1.5, and they very proudly and with so much of pride in their eyes they tell me, oh my god, my child is so smart, ma'am, ऐसे करके वो scroll कर लेता है. Can you imagine a 6-month child? Of course you can imagine, you have seen it also, but then how does it happen? The child was not born with a phone in his or her hand. It was you who gave that, right? It might sound, please take it with a pinch of salt, but it is the scenario, right? That's the case. आपने उसे थमाया था और आज जब वो आपके अगेंस्ट जा रहा है तो आपको वो चीज अच्छी नहीं लग रही है. तो see, remind, you need to remember what age your child is in and accordingly give them that devices or setting times initially. बहुत छोटे बच्चे हैं, so play the music, play those rhymes. I'm sure आप अच्छे intentions से उनको वो phone दे रहे हैं. They will learn shapes and they will learn let's say a lot of poems and rhymes. I would like to tell you one fact about me. When I was in class 1, I'll tell you, there used to be a show called Chauraha in DD Metro or maybe DD Nationals actually during summer break. I have learned to write Hindi from that show. So I am not that against the online thing that you're talking about, but you really need to know what and how much it needs to be given to the child, right? So आपको बहुत छोटा बच्चा, you can play it on the bigger screen for some time, or maybe listening के आजकल कितने सारे devices हैं, Alexa, please play that song for me, and the child can listen. They can listen to stories, and this way you can help them. Correct? So depending on the age of your child, अगर वो बात करने के जोन में है तो आप उनसे बात कीजिए. अगर वो उस एज ग्रुप में है जहां पर आपने कुछ रूल्स सेट किए, वो आपकी बात मानने को रेडी है, please do that. So it is very important that you analyze your situation well, talk to your child, and set screen times for them. And I'm telling you, it is not that difficult also. You just need to be patient and apply the right techniques. And let me tell you, the same technique will not be holding for every child. Every child is different, every person is different, right? So accordingly, permutation, combinations, trial and errors kijiye and see what works for you. Second one is most important, and I absolutely believe in this, that is encouraging offline activities. See, when is the child turning towards online thing? When most of the time when he or she has got nothing to do और कुछ करने को नहीं है. So why is it that उनके पास कुछ करने को नहीं है, और नहीं है तो कुछ टाइम आप खाली बैठिए, अपने साथ बताइए. बोर होना भी जरूरी है. I see children and they would always say, oh, what is next, what is next, what is to be done. मैं तो बोर हो गया. ठीक है, थोड़ी देर आप बोर भी होइए, समय को देखिए, अपने साथ बैठिए, अपनों के साथ बैठिए, and see how you can pass that time. So when you encourage offline activities like drawing, singing, planting, gardening, going for a walk, anything which is suitable for your family, anything which is accessible to you, which is closer to you, you can help the child do that. Let them create a mess, let them do a painting. Of course you will have to clean after that, but वो तो आपको करना पड़ेगा, right? हम गिरेंगे उस डर से हम चलना छोड़ देंगे, that doesn't work, है ना? So of course there will be mess and we will definitely clean it, and that's what will be one of the best ways कि आप अपने बच्चों को online world से थोड़ी देर के सही पर दूर रख सकेंगे. Then you need to create tech free zones, which means there should be certain areas, let's say dining room, let's say bedroom, jahan par phones are absolutely a no-no. If it is during they need to wish you good night and they're going to bed, nobody will be taking the phone to their bedrooms. Like we follow it, we are grown up. I still follow this in my house. My husband will never take the phone to his room, to our bedroom rather. I do that sometimes, but I think that's a very, very unhealthy habit. So create those zones. Don't allow anybody to hold phones when they are eating in the dining room. So this way you are also trying to, cut off. Now, you cannot just say that sit on the table and nobody. You need to encourage that family discussions and know about each other's day, or maybe have, light discussions, or tell them something about how was your day. So in this way you need to divert their mind. Next one is to co-view the content and discuss it with them. So whatever time that you are giving them as screen time, yes, you need to sometimes co-view with them. Sit down. Nowadays, sometimes kids watch those cartoons, I would not like to name it. See, is it like worth? What are they showing? Sometimes, there are so much of adult content in the pretext of cartoons. So you need to sometimes sit with them, see what they're watching, or maybe select some good educational content with them. See, when you give your child an option, it becomes easier. For example, you can tell your child, suppose you want your child to eat either bhindi or lauki. Now, if you ask what do you want to eat, the child will definitely tell you, Mama, I would like to have pizza. Why not give them a choice? So we have bhindi and lauki for dinner. What would you like to eat? So in the same way, you can select 2 cartoons or 2 documentaries or any of these, and you can discuss like what would you like to watch. In this way, you are also keeping a tab on what kind of content they are watching, and let me tell you, it is very, very important. Discussing it with children is even more important. See, they will know everything. So why not, you introduce them to things slowly and let them know what the reality is. It is that important. Hai na? So yes, co-view with them. Sometimes it's fun watching a nice comedy movie or anything, where the entire family is together and you're laughing about it. So that's also a very good thing to do. Next one again is very important, which is digital literacy. Now, depending on the age of your child, you should slowly tell them and teach them that the virtual world and the real world are two different entities. आप जो उस स्क्रीन पर देख रहे हैं वो रियलिटी नहीं है. You should teach them how to spot the misinformation. You should tell them the kind of advertisements which are being shown, how true or how right they are, or to what level it can impact, और कितने तक वो सच हो सकता है, झूठ हो सकता है. कई बार it is about cyber bullying. Sometimes it is about all those frauds and everything that happens. We had this incident where a child was on the phone and there was this call, and the child had this habit to pick up the call and give some password or maybe those key. The child had seen his mom do that with his father, and he thought the same thing, and he gave those four password, and they lost a lot of money. So it is also important to teach them. जिस तरीके से हमें बचपन में सिखाया जाता था ना, ट्रेन में बैठ करके किसी से कुछ लेके नहीं खाना है. So do not talk to strangers. In the same way, how to spot misinformation in this online world, this literacy is also very, very important. The next one is to become a role model. Now you are constantly telling your child, आप ये मत करो, आप तो सारा दिन फोन पे रहते हो, and at the end of the day your child sees that आप खुद बेड पर जाकर सोने से पहले 30 minutes रील चला रहे हो. You can't do that. See, you need to practice what you preach. And let me tell you, children will become what they see and not what orders you give them, right? It's that important. So आप खुद एक role model उनके लिए बनिए. If they see you कि during your time you are sitting with a book, they'll definitely sit with a book. Or what kind of shows you are interested in. If they see you watching a historical documentary, I'm sure slowly and steadily they will become interested in that too. So you need to be what you want them to be. Correct? So in this way, you will also be able to mold the kind of online content you would want them to watch. The next one is to prioritize physical health and sleep, and this I think is need of the hour. It is very important to let the children know and do and understand the value of physical activity, physical health, sleep, whatever it takes, and what kind of impact an online contact or phone or social media can have on our health. Most of the kids today we see with glasses. I mean, it is very difficult. I understand. I don't blame them. The situation was such. The world moved to a digital platform during COVID, and they needed to study with those small screens. You can't avoid that. But what is in your hand, आप वो जरूर कर सकते हैं. So please teach them the importance of good hours of sleep. Now it will only come to them when they see you doing that, when they see you following that. If you are getting up, going for a walk, or maybe you are going for a yoga or a dance session or a gym, or maybe just for a walk, they will understand it's important. And the last one is to encourage social interaction. It is very important. Take them to parks, take them to meet people, take them to the gatherings which happen. Whenever you have some people at home, some guests at home, make sure they come and greet them, and they sit there and they spend some time instead of just being on the phone. When you take them outside for family gatherings, I would definitely say that don't allow them to carry their tabs. Don't give them their phone so that they can, take a corner and get into their phone. Don't do that. Encourage play dates, or maybe like it happens that अगर phone नहीं है तो let's go to the mall, let's eat some fries, let's eat some pizza. No, there are so many different ways, and I believe those social interactions, those small parties for their kids. Now parties as in I'm not talking about food and fun and fun. It is just about 4 kids being together and playing their heart out, talking to each other, give them a topic to discuss. There can be so many ways. So you really need to encourage social interaction so that they have something to look forward outside this online world. So these were a few tips and tricks which will really help you, and we will definitely, please do get back to me and write to me in the comment box if you have any other ideas that would be really helpful for us as well. So with this, I would like to take your leave. Thank you so very much. Keep learning, keep thriving.